Hey guys, what's up? This is another episode of the Stevey show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Honestly, for some reason, I'm like super nervous, but at the same time, I don't know why I am nervous. I'm like super. If there was a person in front of me, I'd be so like, I'd be able to talk like nothing, you know. But for some reason, talking into the camera solo, it's hard. It's not. It's you have to. I have to assume that the person talking to me, and so I'm just like moving around and everything. But no, yeah, I have to assume that the person that there's someone like talking to me, and it's almost like I have a conversation. I'm having a conversation with someone. But yeah, I don't know if I've fully introduced myself yet, but my name's Steven. Um, this is my podcast, and it's uh, it's something I've wanted to do for a long time. And I've kind of said this on other episodes, but I'll kind of go over it a bit. But uh, I I want to like talk to people, and I like talking to people. I like getting to know people, and I like I like talking about deep stuff. You know, it was funny. My one of my friends. Uh, it's I always call these people my friends, but like I'm like I think they're my friends. You know, I've barely hung out with them. You know, but I'm able to make friends with so many people and just get along with everybody, and so yeah, I consider a lot of these people my friends. But uh we were kind of just like talking, and he said he said something about like just his life, and I said something about my life, about how my dad passed away when I was younger. And and he's like, like, that's the thing I like about talking about talking to Christians. It's just like they just get right to the point. They don't. It's like we don't have to talk about the weather, or it's just like I just like talking about deep stuff. I like talking about what drives you, and what, but also like what weighs you down. You know what I mean? Like I I like talking about. I believe in like um I believe where you come from, and what 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 your bloodline is and stuff like that affects you a lot. I believe that like different 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 countries, like, even though that we're all people and we all get affected by a lot of the same things, especially in America, Canada and USA, where like you have so many different cultures coming together, um, that they really all experience a lot of the same things. But when you go into these individual countries, I think a lot of them experience things differently. But I also think that like just also the way the world has been shifting as well. Just uh, like just age ranges and generations, people experience things differently too. So it's interesting. I love the history of I love getting to know someone, and getting and knowing their background, and like, because I believe that, yeah, I believe that all these things are connected. I believe that um and there's studies out there where you just see uh people that say people that have addictions and stuff like that. If you look at their bloodline and stuff like that, they have, there's addictions and stuff like that. All these things are passed down. So if you meet someone who has like um whatever, crazy amount of stress, or or even anger issues, or uh I don't know. Like you see like you can see the things, like certain things like genetics, right? Like hair color and stuff like that. But um there's a lot of like internal things that people maybe even like diseases. Yeah, there's diseases that are hereditary and that get passed down if you and stuff like that, And so like the way the way someone acts and the way someone responds to things, like that, it's about who you are. Like it's not just about, these aren't just like things that we know get passed down, or that like, or that are obvious. But like these are things that like, I don't know really why I'm talking about this, but yeah, this is my podcast. I can talk about whatever I want. But just like things that aren't so obvious that get passed down. We often, as I'm a parent, and I think that parents try to take, and for the most part, yeah, that's what I know of what parents try to do, is that they try to take the good things that they learned from their parents, and get rid of the bad things that they learned from their parents. But you see a lot of the time, the parents are like, end up doing that, maybe not to the same extent, and maybe not all as much, you know what I mean? But there, you see that like just a lot of similarities in the parenting styles and stuff like that. It's just because that's what you were taught, and that's it's, but that's also just part of who you are, I think. Um, yeah, I don't know why I went off with that, but yeah, I like meeting people. I like getting to know people, and I want to show people how to get to know people. I want to show that you can ask questions that that are a little deep, maybe, that, or even that, maybe even, you know offend a little bit. You can ask them in a way that that the person who you're asking knows what your intentions are, and they can, when you ask it in that way, they respond in a way that usually could, starts a good conversation, and you can get some dialect going. Um, but that starts with that can't just be with um one conversation though either. You That's about like your whole demeanor. That's about who you are, and and I know, like, I just know I'm good at it. I just know that I'm good at coming into a situation, and I can I'm confident about who I am for sure, but but I can come into a situation, and I I, I anyone who's there, I can talk to them and stuff like that. Uh, I have an issue if people are being like kind of standoffish with me, because I always wonder why. I always wonder. Well, part of it's like I care about the person, and so I'm like, yo, like, I think I'm pretty cool. So I think that if me and you talk, like, we could actually have a good conversation. Like, that's what goes on in my mind. But if you're being like standoffish towards me, or if you're even being like rude towards me, because like generally, I've never really, even if I don't agree with anything, and I know that I'm coming into the room gonna completely not agree with anything. Like, if there was, I have no idea, if Hitler was right there, right beside, or if I was gonna meet him or whatever in a meeting, I don't agree with anything, like the way he ran his country, or the way he wanted to eradicate the Jews, or just people that were different from him and stuff like that. I don't agree with any of that. But I wouldn't. But I would still like, if I were to have like an interview with him, or, I know Hitler's dead, but if I were to have a Hitler, or if I were to have an interview with him or someone like him, someone who I just completely didn't agree with, um, I would still treat them with respect in person because they're still people at the end of the day. And there's I don't know. Maybe it's like stupid hope or whatever it's called. I forget I don't know what the term is, blind hope or but like I believe that there's like good in everyone, and that like that if you have the right conversation, like you can really, yeah, you can get through to anyone. I don't know. Maybe Hitler's a bad example. But my point still being is just that, yeah, I respect people and I want to show people that like you can just have good conversations with people that like maybe aren't the norm or anything like that. I don't know. And I know you don't have to always have these like deep conversations. Sometimes surface level conversations are okay. It is sometimes okay to talk about the weather or sports or whatever kind of thing like that. But yeah, I don't know. I I have issues with, I started X and I heard that like, when you get on there, it's just like it's just garbage. And it's not that everything on X is garbage. It's that like that there's so much complaining. There's so much fighting and I would have thought, I just didn't know what to expect. I haven't been on social media for quite some time, and I've been using YouTube or whatever, but like I haven't been on an actual social media platform for quite some time. And so when I started on X back in November, December, um, I really, yeah, I didn't really know what to expect. And I don't, yeah, I would have thought that with a platform where it is such free speech, yeah, and I mean, I guess I don't know, yeah, I would have thought that with a platform with such free speech, that people would like, yeah, like I don't, yeah, would actually, people don't read. It's like people don't read the comments that are being said back to them, or they do read them and they just completely skim over them or something like that, because like you'll see that people are just fighting back and forth constantly, and like both sides have amazing points to them, and nobody, what I'm finding big time, and I hate it. I hate to be one of those people that are like, oh, the left this, the left that. But what I'm finding is that you're you're really your oil field dudes and your Alberta rugged people are posting jokes and talking about uh just issues with the economy, stuff like that. But then like and they're not even like bashing people a lot of the time. They'll bash maybe the CEOs or the people that are running the shows kind of thing. But then all of a sudden, like and they're giving solid proof too. They're giving solid proof. Like they're giving like actual like good arguments and it's not just like not like this, they're just like talking out of their nose. I don't know. But like then you have people that just start like attacking them and bringing it into this like emotional thing when it's really more, black and white. But then you say stuff like that, and you're not bashing anyone at all, but then they make it into like an emotional thing, and like kind of just like, yeah, just attack you for being like, I have no idea, like a far right whatever. It's just like, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I just started and I'm sick of it. Like people need to grow up, and that's why I'm just like, I want to show people how to talk. Like I don't get it. I don't get it. You even see on X, formerly known as Twitter, that people from like their communities are attacking their own kind. Um, Danielle uh, Danielle Smith, our premier here in Alberta, she recently passed a law, or just uh, that just that stop transitioning to a certain age, and that the if if things are said at schools, it has to be said to the parents. Just stuff that, like, you're bringing parents back into it and making. It just seemed like it was kind of getting out of hand. It almost seemed like there was no laws. It was almost seemed like there was just like, you know, this is something that is a freedom thing, and you don't have to have a law about it. But like we have laws about everything here in Canada, so like this is something that you know it just seemed like, yeah. And it doesn't even seem like they're unreasonable laws. I'm not exactly what I'm sure, but I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, it's no transitioning until like 16, um and yeah, just that, like, the parents have to be notified and stuff like that. And like, to me, that's reasonable things. I don't know. I'm not someone who deals with that. I'm not someone who I didn't grow up in this era. I didn't grow up in this. um I've I've established that I'm a guy a long time ago. And I for me, that seems like it's reasonable. I I'm sure for people going through it and stuff like that, yeah, I'm sure it seems unreasonable. And I would understand that if there's certain things where it's like, if I want all or nothing, like getting 50% or 40% of it or whatever kind of thing, it, even 80%, even getting like part of it kind of thing. It's You're like, no, I want it all. I get it. Like, yeah, that would suck. But what you see is that there's people, part of the LGB. I don't even know what. Yeah, there's people that, and you're seeing that they're generally older older male gays, or yeah, just like people part of the LGBTQ, whatever it is, that are in support of Daniel Smith. They're in support of little kids not getting their little boys not getting their dicks chopped off, and girls being put on, getting like their uteruses taking out at such a young age, or their boobs like sliced off, and these people, they're are they're part of the community, but they're they're also they're also in support of kids not making life altering decisions at such a young age when they're not fully developed, and when you're not, you have to, like, I don't know. And so these people are in support of it, and so people from their community, like, are coming and attacking them. Like, you would think that, like, you these people would understand that they're coming from a place of love. They're coming from a place of, like, yo, I'm going through these same things that you are. I've gone through it. I was a pioneer in it. These people literally paved the way for these uh, young people to even to transition. And yeah, they're just, I don't know. I hope you understand what I'm saying. It's ridiculous. I don't I don't get the Yeah, I don't get the animosity. When I grew up in Canada, I grew up in a place that, you know, people just accepted you for who you were. I don't know, like, yeah, there was people that made fun of you. There was bullies. There was there was people that, were climbing their way to the top, and, like, we're gonna, or that were kind of, you know just always gonna be number one or whatever. There was always something. You know what I mean? Like, but, like, they never outweighed to me. They never outweighed the good I saw in people, and in Canadians. I always thought that Canadians were people that, like, it didn't matter what you were or who you were or how old you were, whatever, that you just, like, said hi to each other and you loved each other. And what you see online is just almost like, and the thing is that I follow a lot of, like, Canadian people. And so a lot of my feed is Canadian and curated towards me, I guess. And so, yeah, like, it just I just don't get it. People always made fun of each other. People always joked around, goofed around. I think Canada has some of the funniest comedians out there, and we have some of the greats that came from Canada. And I like, so comedy and joking around has always been, to me, been a Canadian thing. And so, yeah, I don't know. To me, I think people need to lighten up. I don't know. I've been saying it for a long time. I don't know. I don't know what this is all about. All I know, all I know is that I, yeah, I wanna have fun with this podcast, and I want to do, I want to, I have some cool things that are in the works right now and coming up, and I'm really excited for them. Uh, the cool thing about my setup is that I can kind of do it wherever I want. I'm in my hotel room right now because I've just been, I don't know, I kind of had a lull at home, and it was fun to, I was going hard for like 3 months, 2, 3 months or whatever kind of thing, trying to get everything set up, and then everything going good, and it's just like doing that, juggling work, and through the holidays, and then I kind of, it was like, and my birthday was, so I was just like, yeah, it's nice to take a little bit of a break, but I want to get back into the swing of things, and just really push. And I have people that have, been in my circle, and like what I do, and like, and and see potential in this, and they have certain things and skills and stuff like that, and so I potentially have producers lined up, and and but it's all like homegrown stuff, and so that's what I'm pretty excited for too. And so um this is really fun. I didn't really mean to want to just complain on this whole thing. I love people, and I want to show people that we can all be different but still intermingle with each other, and and be like, because there is, like, especially as Canadians and Americans, there is so many things that we all go through. We all simultaneously go through at the same time, and like there's so many people in the world, and like, but like, but yeah, that the way we grow up and what you deal with and stuff like that. There's a lot of those things that we go through when you're in a small town. When I was growing up, um, it there were, we had I knew of like four people in my general age range that had passed away, kind of thing, throughout the years. And they weren't. I may have not been the closest to those people, but some of them I knew pretty good. Or and one was in my class, actually. Um, you, those things, even if you're not super close to them, those people, especially in a small town, they affect everybody. They affect, and they impact so many people. Um, because you don't because in the city, I come from the Edmonton now, but in the city, like, you hear of death and stuff like that all the time, and it's honestly, it's just like, it's hard on the mind. My kids are in the city, and I hope to one day get out of the city again, but maybe we'll see. It just it would just be nice to get away from all the sirens. Honestly, that's the big thing. There's just so many sirens. But again, this is just me complaining, I guess. I don't know. I have no idea. No, honestly, yeah. I want to do some skits. Like I said, I have some cool things lined up, and yeah. Thank you so much if you've made it this far. Um, yeah, if you've made it this far, leave a comment, and tell me what you did on Family Day weekend. Yeah, thank you so much for everything, guys. This has been another episode of the Stevie B Show. Peace.